Well, howdy do, buckaroos. This is Tom the Beer Whisperer. I have a bottle in front of me, then a frontal lobotomy. How are you? So I'm joined today by Sellersburg, Indiana's own Todd Wren. Todd, say hi and tell us what you're drinking.
How's it going, Tom? Good to be on with you. I'm drinking a beer I picked up yesterday. Just hit our market from Shorts Brew out of Michigan. And let's see. It says Elk Rapids, Michigan. Brewed and bottled by Shorts Brewing Company in Elk Rapids, Michigan.
Huh.
Had the opportunity to try a couple of these, not this particular beer, but a few beers from this company probably about 3.5 years ago, on a business trip to Michigan, and stopped in one of the liquor stores up there and brought back a couple of six-packs. So I was kind of excited to see that this one has hit our market. And so it just come out yesterday, Thursday, I guess, actually, probably, but I had the opportunity to pick it up and do a little beer sampling yesterday.
I haven't had anything from that brewery before. I'm not familiar with them at all.
So far it's been pretty good. I picked up a this one I'm trying now is called Controversial, and it's an American IPA. And I looked up just a little bit on their website moments ago because the bottle doesn't say. It's 6.5 ABV and 65 IBUs, and it says that it's brewed with Simcoe hops.
Wow, okay.
And they made it, now I'm not real familiar with Simcoe. I'm not sure that I've had anything, to my knowledge, with that in it. Apparently, the website makes it sound like it's a rare hop and not used a lot. Are you familiar with that one?
Yeah, I am. It's used a lot of IPAs.
Okay.
It's a very...
I probably have and just didn't know it, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. Yeah, it's a very assertive hop.
Okay. And it had just a touch. I'm trying to go by memory. I think it said something along the lines of some toasted caramel or toasted characteristics to it too. So we'll see.
So have you tried it yet?
Just poured it. Pours a nice. I don't know if you can see that very well or not. Kind of a nice little golden color.
I've just poured this one here, if you can see the F5 IPA from Coop Ale Works out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 6.8%, 100 IBUs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Meant to be kind of a West Coast style IPA. They use Columbus and Falconer's Flight hops in this one.
Have you had that one before?
It's kind of a bright golden, almost kind of a honey golden there.
Yeah, mine's kind of a reddish orangish color.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that one is. Yeah.
Nice color to it. Here's the bottle. If you want to see the bottle, you can see that.
Controversial. There we go. I like the name.
Yeah. And from my understanding, talking to the sales rep that was actually pouring the beers, this is one of their standards. You know, in their lineup of standard 5 or 6 that they, from my understanding, just started distribution this week. So never been available in Indiana before, and I don't think that they actually distributed outside of Michigan before. So we'll see how it goes.
Well,
they had a really nice brown ale. They had a really nice brown ale that I sampled in the lineup. It was nice. I liked it. So let's have a little taste. Smells. Well, the smell on it's nice aroma. I did try one last night. Got some nice tropical fruit characteristics. Some mango and pineapple for sure. I don't really get the toastiness that they were that the website was referring to, but yeah, it's nice and balanced. It doesn't not overwhelming the hops. You know, at 65, it's Not really on the front end, not really on the back end. It's just kind of nice and mellow. Hop aroma is characteristic throughout. Very nice. Very
Very
drinkable.
nice.
Yeah, very drinkable.
Very nice.
I like
This
it.
one, 6.8, 100 IBUs, is a little bit uneven, but not too much. I mean, it is heavier on the hop as this style is supposed to be, but it doesn't whack your palate out of whack either.
Yeah, a lot of them get carried away in a sense on some of those, especially when you start reaching the 100
I mean,
IBU
I
range.
gotta admit that 6.8% 100 IBUs, you're not looking. Obviously, it's not going to be balanced, right? It's not
Yeah,
supposed to be, but it's not as uneven as it might sound either. Actually, it comes together very well. The Falconers fight the Columbus. Uh, I'm getting, I'm certainly getting some citrus, a lot of grapefruit. There is some tangerine. I'm also getting some really nice pine and pepper notes that kind of balance it all out. That kind of keep it from getting too heavy from one side to the other. It's a very nice beer. It makes me want to try more from them.
is that the first time did you say that was the first time you've had that one?
Yeah, I've never heard of this brewery before. I
Okay.
just found it. But yeah, it's the first beer I've ever had from them.
6 pack, 4 packs.
Four 4 pack pint cans. Let me show you the can here.
Okay.
4 pack pint cans. It was $9.98 for the 4 pack pint cans.
That's not bad.
No, I didn't think so. They've actually had an Imperial IPA from the same brewery. That was $11.98 for 4 pack pint cans. That was 9.1% used. But I wanted to start here to see what the IPA like before I tried the Imperial.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, these ran. I said I picked up 2 6 packs of theirs. The other one was the Uma Lupa Licious IPA, and I think the numbers on it run. Yeah, I don't even want to say they don't list it on the bottles, and I don't really want to even say what they are, so I don't want to guess at it and be wrong on it. So, but one of them was $10.99, I think, for a 6 pack, 12-ounce bottles, and the other one I think was I think the IPA, and I believe the ABVs on it is a little bit higher, and I think it was $12.99. So not too bad, really. I guess whatever it is. I know some people bark at some of it, and some people don't think that's bad. So I guess it's just a matter of your opinion and what you feel is expensive. I guess
Well, you know what? I kind of feel sometimes it's just my mind or the amount of money I have in my wallet at the moment. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm kind of the same way, really. I kind of
I
bark
look
at
at this one
10.99
for
sometimes.
this is $10 a 4 pack. There are times I might have found that expensive. But it's 6.8%, 100 IBUs. I figured I'm gonna give it a chance.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that plays into it. You get some that are 6% and wanting to charge the same amount of price, and you can get others that are probably better all day long for, $6, $7 range.
Well, I bought a beer over the weekend. It's a Tennant's Scotch whiskey oak infused beer. It was $10 a 4 pack. I bought it because I was intrigued by it, but the truth is, it was kind of weak. So, I mean, I as much as I love whiskey infused beers, oak infused beers, this one really didn't live up to the hype. But I had to try it once.
Yeah, that's always kind of disappointing. You always get the read on them always sound so good, and then it doesn't always, like you said, doesn't always hold up to what you think or what your anticipation is. And at that point, you're thinking, oh, why'd I spend $10.99 on that?
I mean, in this case, I spent $10 for 4 pint cans, and this beer is very nice. I would buy this again. I would recommend this to folks. The beer really is that good.
You said they're out of Arkansas?
No, this was at Oklahoma.
Oh, out of Oklahoma. Okay.
Coops Ale Works out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I bought it in Arkansas, but my nose itches. I apologize for scratching in front of you. But Coop Ale Works, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Okay. All right. And so this one's out of Michigan, which has a lot of popular breweries in its own right.
They do, and I get a lot of Michigan breweries here, but I don't get that one.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's their first distribution, to my understanding. That's the way they made it sound, anyway. In fact, I think it was on one of the bottles during the tasting. I think it said something like brewed for Michigan, in Michigan, and for only Michigan, or something like that. I made a comment to the guy pouring. I said, "Well, I guess they're gonna have to change your label because it's no longer only in Michigan."
There you go.
But it doesn't say that on either one of these, so I don't know if that was just a specialty for that particular beer or what the case was. I thought it was kind of
I
interesting.
don't know. So the last time you and I kind of BS'd alive, as we're doing now, we talked about baseball, and spring training was just getting started, and we're kind of in the middle of it now. So, how's your team looking?
Um, still in shambles a little bit. They traded away a lot of their cornerstone pieces over the winter, but
You think
got some nice young prospects that seem to be, they've done fairly above my expectation in the spring training thus far. So we'll
do you
see.
think it's
They're still trying to make their final pitching cuts and lineup yet. So we'll see.
do you think it's a rebuilding season?
Oh, absolutely. I think the next probably 2 years would be rebuilding. I think they're almost kind of going in the direction of what Houston has done and Chicago, and even Pittsburgh for that matter. They went into a 2 or 3 year state of rebuild, trading for prospects and whatnot.
I'm a diehard Dodger fan, and we haven't had a winning team. Well, we haven't been to the series since 1988, so I think way beyond rebuilding at this point. I'm hoping they can pull something off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at some point you start to lose patience.
Right. Well, we haven't been since
In the
1990.
90s, I
So
mean, the Dodgers had some great teams in the 90s, and we had Raul Mondesi, we had Mike Piazza. There was no reason why that team shot into the series at some point in the 90s. But we haven't been to the series since 1988. There is no reason for that, and I'm getting irritated.
well, they're trying the Yankee way now, right? Just buy players of
Yeah,
Magic Johnson's group and whatnot.
that was always the thing about the Dodgers was they were always about their farm system, about bringing people up. That's why they were always different than the Yankees. But yeah, I mean, I'm just getting pissed. I mean, again, we had teams in the '90s that should have gone to the show, that should have been to the World Series, and they didn't make it. And I'm just irritated.
Yeah, we had a couple decent years. A few years back, we had Dusty Baker as a manager and made the playoffs a few times, but would get steamrolled by the Cardinals and still continually get steamrolled by the Cardinals, which
I don't
pisses
think
the hell
Dusty
off.
was a bad manager. I think Dusty was a good manager in the same way that what was his name? I think Dusty was a good manager. I don't think he knew how to win the big game.
Yeah, and I think that was his final. The straw that broke the camel's back in Cincinnati. He was getting to the playoffs, but he wasn't, getting out of the first round. So I think they were just looking for a change. Although now I'm thinking I wouldn't mind having Dusty back. At least just make the playoffs.
At least get to the game, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, the Dodgers have last year they were eliminated in the first round. I mean, they got great pitching. I mean, but they can't seem to get over that hump. And at this point, I'm just irritated. I mean, we've had some great teams over the years. They just can't seem to get there.
Especially with a guy like Clayton Kershaw as your number one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, when they won the series in 1988, there was not one reputable baseball pundit that thought they were going to win that year. One. and they haven't won since. It's almost like it was a curse.
Yeah, well, and that's the great thing about baseball over I think any other sport is, um, and the Yankees have proved it in the past. Although they've had their fair share of success, but you can't buy players for baseball and win championships with it. It almost has to be an organizational type thing. With Chicago and Houston or in Pittsburgh, even made the playoffs the last few years, are trying to do build from the ground up and make it a team organization, and not just bring in the superstars and pay them multi-million dollars and expect to win.
Well, you have to have a team that can. I mean, the '88 Dodgers is actually a perfect example for that. There wasn't a whole lot of stars on that team. It was a whole lot of good players played good baseball for a period of time, but it wasn't necessarily a star-studded team.
Oh yeah, same with the 1990 Reds. They were the same way,
Yeah, I
and
agree. Yeah, I'm with you.
wasn't given
Well,
a snowball's
I
chance
was
to
a fan of
know.
the Reds when you had that big red machine era. You had Johnny Bench. Holy crap! You had Joe Morgan at second. You had Concepcion at short. You had Tony Perez at third. I mean, damn.
Yeah, Pete Rose and George Foster.
Well, at that time, Pete Rose was in the field to start with, and he moved to third, and Perez moved to first.
Right, right.
But Tony Perez was a better defensive third baseman than he got credit for.
Yeah, see, I don't remember. I
See,
mean,
I'm
I
an
knew he
old
played
guy.
third, but I
I'm
don't
an old
remember
guy.
much
I
as a third
remember
baseman.
those guys. They were awesome. Tony Perez was freaking. Oh man, that guy was on it.
Yeah, that whole team was solid. Of
But
course,
Johnny
later,
Bench, I mean Johnny Bench, really, Johnny Bench.
yeah, still today, in my opinion, the greatest catcher ever.
Well, what was great about Johnny Bench was not only could he hit, which was unusual for catchers at the time, but Johnny Bench was arguably the best defensive catcher of the era.
Yes, yeah, agree 100%.
I mean, he had both tools. Most catchers of the time were hitting about 200. Johnny Bench could hit. He could hit home runs, and he had a cannon of an arm.
I would say you could probably, I guess, go back to him as the guy that probably changed that position, right?
I think he did. There is no doubt he changed because I think it's because of Johnny Bench that you ended up with guys like Mike Pita.
Right. Who was a self-made guy in his own right. I think wasn't he only given the opportunity because he was wasn't he like Tommy Lasorda's godson or something along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, he was drafted way down the line. I mean, he wasn't even. I mean, he wasn't a first round draft. He was way down the line, and He might have got drafted because he was Lasorda's godson, but he got to the big show because he was just that good.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you think that a guy like him, of course, eventually probably would have been discovered at some point, I would assume. But I
You
think they
know,
only drafted him as a favor for him, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
but yeah, you're right. I don't know that he would have been drafted. I don't know, but he was
'Cause I
one of the
know,
best.
yeah, like you said, he was drafted way low and wasn't really that much sought after as a prospect coming up. But he just
No,
kind of,
he wasn't thought of as much of a defensive catcher or offensive one. But when he came up, he became both. He was damn fine defensively and offensively.
where would you rate him as far as top catchers? Top five, easy.
In my generation, okay, if we're talking about folks that I didn't, if we're only talking about people that I saw growing up, yes, I'll put him there.
What would you say about Thurman Munson if he had his career not in, obviously for reasons that we all know, if his career didn't end the way it did.
Well, to be honest, for me, I'm putting Johnny Bench one. I'm putting Munson number two.
Munson too, yeah, that's kind of where I would rate him too. Of course, I never got to
I'm going
see
to put
Munson
Piazza
play, but
probably about 4 or 5, but I've I haven't really thought this through, but there is no doubt that benches one, Munson two. Yes, I think Munson was that good. Thurman Munson had offense and he had defense. Yeah, had he had a chance for a longer career, he'd have been brilliant, more brilliant than he was.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that.
But to be honest with you, I don't know that there's anything else Thurman Munson could have done to make me think he was number one. Johnny Bench to me is the best.
Yeah, I think it had to take somebody just super special, I think, to come along to unseat Bench in that category, in my opinion.
Yeah, to me, Johnny Bench is the epitome of the modern era catcher. I mean, he's a guy who could hit, but his defense was impeccable. He had a cannon of an arm. I mean, Johnny Bench was just amazing. There is nobody that's going to take his place. But Thurman Munson is a very damn close second, in my opinion.
Yeah, because he was kind of the same way, right? He was all around offensively and defensively too, right?
Yeah, Munson was brilliant, but Johnny Bench. But yeah, Thurman Munson was brilliant. Yeah, and no doubt he's number two.
Now, how many years did he end up playing? Only like 3 or 4, right? Before
Well,
he died in the.
he played more than that,
Oh,
but
did
I
he?
don't
Okay.
remember.
I was thinking it was a short career.
He did have a show. Well, okay, now you got me thinking. Hold on. Since we're on the internet, speak, stay there. I'm gonna look this shit up. I gotta find out now. I was thinking he played. I was thinking he had at least a 10-year career, but
Okay, well, he may have.
I don't remember. Hold on. I'm talking to you. I'm going to look up Thurman Munson because the man was brilliant, but he wasn't Johnny Bench brilliant.
You know, the only thing I can go off of that is just from stats and
I got
video.
him right here. Actually, I think you're right. You didn't. Bear with me. My internet's slow tonight for some reason. This is operator. Who knows?
Wacky technology.
Oh no. No, well, according to this, he played from 69 to 79.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't, yeah, I was close. He had an 11-year career. I said 10, 11 years. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, he could have had a longer career. His last year, he played 97 games.
Okay, longer than I was thinking. For some reason, I had it in my mind he was only in the 4 to 6 range for some reason.
But let me this at you. Throughout his career, he batted 301, 318, 302, 308. I mean, that doesn't sound a lot by today's standards. The game was different back in the 70s. That was a crazy, crazy good batting average for a catcher back in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
It was a different game back then. That's the problem is a lot of folks don't understand that a different game back then.
Yeah, well, you had the steroid era kind of come through and screwed a lot of that up too. But yeah, you're right. It was a lot different. It was more, in my opinion, more of a strategy type game of get somebody on, bunt or steal them over, do the sacrifice, score, and you win.
It was more. It was more chess back then than it is now. Yeah, it's become more checkers, but it used to be chess. Yeah, you're right. And they've changed the pitching mound. They've done a lot of things different. In Thurman Munson's era, it was a lot different. In Johnny Bench's era, it was a lot different.
It kind of feels like it's somewhat heading back towards a pitching game, I guess. I don't know.
There are some folks that want a 30 to 29 game. I've always been a guy that if I'm going to a ball game, to be honest with you, if I'm paying money to sit in a stadium, I would love to see a pitcher's duel. I swear to goodness, I love a 1-0 game. I just do. I think I'm I'm in the minority, but I love a 1-0 game.
No, I'm the same way. I think I'm right there with you. There's just much
Because
more to the game than
yeah,
just
it's about strategy, right? It's about
yeah.
pitch to that batter. Well, what are you going to throw next? I think a lot of people miss that. They want to see home runs. They want to see, 30 runs on a game. A game like that is boring. But to see a pitcher go up against a batter and to watch a three count, is he going to walk him? Is he going to strike him out? Is he going to pop it up? I mean, it's all about the strategy.
Yeah, I think. Do you think that falls more in line of the thinking people that think that are the ones that really understand the game and not just watch it as a spectator? Just as a Friday night, Saturday night, go to the ballpark with the family and just watch a game. Taking a game. Do you think that has something to do with it?
Yes, I think that has everything to do with it. Yes. Yeah, I think folks that really understand what baseball is about and understand the history of baseball love that 1-0 game. Folks that just want nothing but action. I think people with short attention spans want to see that 15-13 game and want to see 5 home runs tonight. And I'm not necessarily saying I don't love to see a home run, especially from my team. But when I'm seeing a brilliantly oh my gosh, when I'm seeing a pitcher just pitching a brilliant game and on both sides, it just to me it's just amazing.
I agree. Yeah, I mean it's just especially in the National League without the DH. You get a guy that's going late into the game and his position comes up in the order batting lineup. Do you leave him in to continue to shut the other team out, or do you pinch hit for him to try to drive that
Yeah,
run in?
that's exactly my argument. You think you lose a strategy with the DH?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's kind of a thankless. In American League, in my opinion, it's not to say thankless. I mean, I'm sure there's still some strategy to it, but there's no thinking to it. Your pitcher's pitching good, you leave him in the whole time. You don't have to pinch hit for him. So there's no strategy, and you
Yeah,
just plug the guy in that can. Doesn't matter if he's hitting 150, but he might hit 40 home runs. That's your DH guy. He's just going to drive in the runs.
but it's the bottom of the ninth. It's a National League game. You've got 2 on, 2 out, and your pitcher's coming up to bat. He's pitched a brilliant game. Do you take him out to put a hitter? See,
Being in the bottom of the ninth, I probably.
that's the strategy. See, most people are going to take that pitcher out. You're going to put a hitter and try to win the game. But if you go to the next inning, if that guy can't get the run in, now you have a strategy issue. But if you're in the American League and you have a DH, you've lost that strategy. You've turned chess into checkers.
Yes, that's my argument too, 100%.
You've all of a sudden you've taken a chess and turned it into checkers.
Right.
And that's my argument. By golly, I'm with you.
I think the American League needs to do away with the DH and actually play baseball.
The problem is you and I are the minority, friend. People want to see home runs. People want to see Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, or whoever it is take as many steroids as they can and hit 50 home runs a year. They don't want to see a pitcher's duel anymore. You and I want to see that because we understand the game. We understand what it's about. But most people don't want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you
Most
on that
people
one.
want instant gratification. They want to see people hit the ball out of the park. They don't want to see a great game, great strategy. And that just baffles the hell out of me.
Yeah, I mean, there's just as much entertainment on that side of it for me, and seeing the strategy and a guy pitching a really great game. Even both guys pitching a really great game, like you said, in a 1-0,
Yeah, see,
2-1 type game.
to me, well, when I watch a game like that, I'm going, "Oh my god!" I mean, for me, that's amazing. If I'm watching a ball game and I'm seeing 20, if I'm watching a 10-11 game, I'm thinking I've lost interest. I'm tired of seeing people hit home runs. I'm tired of bad plays. I want to see defense. I want to see I want to see pitchers pitching the best they can. I want to see a guy making a play from third that he probably shouldn't have made, but he just and all of a sudden we got a 0-0 game. See, for me, it's about pitching, it's about defense, and I don't want to see 100 home runs a game.
Yeah, at that point, to me, it becomes a thankless game if you're just getting a 10-9, 9-8 type ball games. It's almost a thankless type game where you just almost expect, nothing is safe at that point. It's just you just expect that runs are going to be scored when you get in a game like that.
But I think that's what at least 75% of folks want to see these days. I think you and I are the absolute rarity that want to see great pitching and great defense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I guess, do you think a lot of that? I mean, TV, I would assume, plays a big part in that reasoning. I would think, right?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it does. I think it's just that baseball has become. At one time, baseball was the national pastime. Everybody loved to watch baseball. I think it was a faster paced game. I think it's become a slower paced game over the years. I think most people like to watch football because you get to see people get hurt. I think most folks like to watch people get hurt. I don't think it's the fast paced nature of the game that attracts folks. I think people like to see folks get hurt. In baseball, you don't really see that too much, and and I think it's a slower paced game anyway. But I think over the last 20 years, it's become even a slower paced game.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. It's the microwave type society that people don't want to spend
I think a lot of
4 hours
folks
at a
have very
game or
short
longer.
attention spans. Yeah,
And I understand that. I for one would like to see. Um, I was kind of all for which I don't know how much they actually enforce it, somewhat of the pitch shot clock for whatever you want to call it, to where to speed the game up a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
I remember growing up as a kid, games were 2 hours and 10 minutes, and that was tops.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, in my generation, most of the games in the '70s were, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Now we're looking at 3.5 to 4 hours. I mean, come on. Yeah, uh, we've slowed the game down. We've done all kinds of stuff. Are you leaving?
Well, you get batters standing there, and they got to step out every single pitch, readjust their batting gloves, fix their helmet, fix their cup, whatever the hell they're doing, and taking 2 minutes between every pitch. And it's just ridiculous. Keep one foot in the box, step out, get your signal from your coach if if there's anybody on base, and then go at it. Back in the '70s, '80s, and I guess late '80s, I don't know when it actually started changing. Pitcher didn't walk around the mound and stand there and do all this, that, and the other. They got the ball, their foot was on the mound, and they were ready to pitch. As soon as the guy was in the box, and it was fast moving.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the powers that be kind of missed the point. I think they think everybody wants to see more home runs. We don't necessarily want to see more home runs. We want to see the game like it used to be.
Yeah, and I think that long time, being the fan that I am, a lot of times you don't want to sit and watch a 4-hour game. You do want to kind of keep it in the 2 to 3 hour range.
3 hours. 3 hours ought to be max, really.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, 3 hours ought to be max, and it's become so slow, and I don't know.
You're investing a lot of time at that point for a family to go actually to the park if you're going to spend
Well, yeah, especially
4.5 hours.
these days. Oh my goodness! I mean, you're going to spend an arm and a leg to take your family to a ballpark these days.
Yeah, not to mention the cost. I mean, I know they run a lot of promotions here now for like Cincinnati games where you can buy like a family 4-pack, includes like a Coke or whatever soda you want to drink and like a hot dog or something. And they're probably not the best seats, but it's in the. I want to say it's like a. Don't get me wrong. Don't take my price for what it is, but it might be $20-$30 a ticket. Includes a drink and a hot dog, and so maybe $120 for a family 4-pack type thing,
That's still
just to try to get people there. And that doesn't seem too bad. I know we went to before my dad passed away. He was an avid, huge Yankee fan and would watch them. Pretty much every game was on TV that they were on, which a lot of times were on ESPN. They were on ESPN a ton, several years back. So he was watching them quite a bit. But they, with the interleague play, they came to Cincinnati. So he passed away in 2013. I think they came in Cincinnati in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, and got tickets to go to that. And I mean, for decent seats on the third base side on the lower level, we paid for 4 tickets. Oh, it was almost $500 for 4 tickets.
damn.
Yeah, it was just one of those once. It was one of those once in a lifetime things for him. He never got to see him play live. Obviously he was never going to go to New York because he wasn't one to really do a lot of traveling. So that was really the closest they came that he was going to go travel to see. So he justified it that way, and I was glad that he did, knowing what I know now. It was good that we got to catch that game together and see them.
Well, Todd, as
So,
we end this session of the Beer Whisperer Pub, any final words?
nope. Baseball season's around the corner. I think next weekend I believe is opening day, right?
Are you ready? Are
I'm
you
ready.
excited about it?
Well, as much as I can be. I don't think it's going to be a good year for Cincinnati, but I just love the game, so yeah, I'm ready for it. So.
Well, I was born a Dodger fan. I'll die a Dodger fan, but I will always root for the Cards because that was my son's team. So, hey, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. We're going to end this session. I thank Todd Wren for joining me because he's the only guy so far that wants to talk baseball with me, and I love talking baseball. So
Thanks for having me. Anytime. I'll talk at any time you want.
Nobody else wants to talk baseball, man. I love me some baseball. So anyway, this time Beer Whisperer, and we're out.